High performance tumblers or cups or whatever you want to call them are real popular right now. In this video, we're going to do a head-to-head scientific testing of the 3 top selling tumblers on Amazon. That's coming up next on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So, if you're like me, you drink a lot of coffee, or maybe you drink a lot of ice water, you like cold or hot drinks or whatever. Generally, most people like them cold or hot, not room temperature. So in the last couple of years, there's been a big interest in, high performance tumblers and coolers. So honestly, the people that probably came out first and started that trend are the folks at YETI, and then there are a lot of others followed after that. And again, like I said in this video, we're going to take a look at the 3 top selling high performance tumblers on Amazon. And full disclosure right up front, one of those is a MalloMe tumbler, and the folks at MalloMe are so confident in the performance and value of their cup that they have put their money where their mouth is, and they sent me all 3 of these and agreed to be a financial sponsor of this video. Sight unseen, before I did any testing, they basically stepped up to the plate and said, we're confident in our product, we're going to send you these and let the chips fall where they may. So just full disclosure there. But in order to be as fair as possible, as you know, here at Survival on Purpose Worldwide Headquarters, we pride ourselves on highly scientific testing methods. So I tried to say that with a straight face. And we're going to show you that in a minute. But before we do that, let's just talk about the price and value of these things, and then we'll talk about the testing and we'll get to it. So first of all, again, probably the most recognizable name in that industry is YETI. And YETI came out with the really high-end coolers and tumblers and stuff. And this one is $40 on Amazon. So, and basically it comes with you got a stainless steel cup, and you get a lid, which has a little kind of a rubber gasket seal on it. And then it's just got a drinking slot in the top of it. And there you go, $40. The next one we're going to look at is another competitor for YETI. It's the RTIC, and it is about $15. And basically you get a cup and a lid with a rubber gasket seal on it and a drinking hole on top. And this drinking hole has a little bit of a slot in it for a straw. So that's around $15. The third one we're going to look at, and the folks that are sponsoring this video, is the MalloMe tumbler. And you can hardly see that logo there, but MalloMe comes with this tumbler here, and you get you had a lid here, and this lid actually has a waterproof seal on it, so you can snap it shut, and it's got a nice gasketed seal. And then it also has a drinking slot in it, obviously. But the MalloMe also comes with a second lid, and basically it has a little sliding top on it, and it slides back and forth. Now this one is not waterproof as far as if you turn it up like this, it's going to leak, but it does help prevent splashes and splashing out, and if you just happen to bump your cup or whatever. So 2 lids, and I think it's really cool, it comes with a handle. So the handle slides on like so. You slip it up there, and it really stays on very securely. If you put it up on there all the way, kind of pull it up with your hands, then, but wait, there's more. The MalloMe tumbler also comes with a stainless steel drinking straw, so whether it's hot or cold, it fits in both the lids. And in order to keep this thing clean, it comes with a cleaning brush to clean the straw. So pretty good bit of value there for somewhere in the neighborhood of $17 to $19. So under $20 here, you get the tumbler, 2 lids, a hot and a cold lid. They recommend this one for hot drinks because the one with the seal on it, as stuff gets hot, it expands, it can pop the seal. So they recommend this for hot and the other for cold, and a handle, and a stainless steel straw, and a cleaning brush. So pretty good stuff in that whole package. The other 2, you just get the tumbler and a lid for either $40 or $15. The MalloMe, you get the tumbler, 2 lids, a handle, straw, and a cleaning brush for under $20. So there's that. Now, I'm going to get to the testing next, and we'll come back and talk about the results. I'll give you my final thoughts. The first test I did was an ice water test. Basically, I used 30 cubes of ice, as equal in size as possible. They all came from the same ice maker in my refrigerator. Then I filled each tumbler up to about 3/4 of an inch below the rim with room temperature water. And I put all the lids back on, and I did snap the lid on the MalloMe because it comes with a closing lid, so we used it. Okay, we started the test at 5:54 p.m. and I did go ahead and put the handle on the MalloMe just because it's got the name on there, since the others had the labels. It just makes it a little easier to tell which one's which in the video. Okay, after 24 hours of sitting outside overnight, and somewhere in the temperature was probably down into the low 40s overnight, and in the 50s to 55 during the day. You can see they all had a pretty good chunk of ice in them. So the test continues. Okay, after 41.5 hours, we finally got down to, I think, a winner. And if you look, the RTIC had no ice left, and the YETI had no ice left, but the MalloMe had just a little bit of ice left. I mean, maybe a couple of little pieces. Now, I did actually check the temperature on these, and the MalloMe was about 5 degrees colder. But just so you can see, there's absolutely no ice in the YETI or the RTIC, and just a real small little bit of ice there in the MalloMe. If I had to guess, I would say it's probably the closing lid on the MalloMe that accounted for the slight difference in temperature and the ability to maintain that little bit of ice for 41.5 hours. Okay, so next I wanted to find out just how long these tumblers would keep liquids warm, and we started with 150 degree water in each one of them. So there's the RTIC at about 150.8 degrees Fahrenheit, and the YETI at about 151.8, and the MalloMe at about 151.1 degrees. So all of them starting within about a 1 degree temperature range. And as before, since the MalloMe comes with a closing lid, I used it. So I started this test at 4:35 p.m. I know my watch is an hour fast, but that's just because I never change it back and forth for daylight savings. Just not worth the hassle to me. Okay, so I checked the temperature 6 hours later, and we have an ambient temperature right now outside of about 43.5 degrees. So on the YETI, we have 100.7 degrees on the hot water. The RTIC is 99.4 degrees, and the MalloMe came in about 5 degrees higher than the YETI at 105.7 degrees. So I decided to wrap this test up the next morning after about 17 hours and 17 minutes total elapsed time. And as you can see, the YETI is about at 61.5 degrees Fahrenheit. To the RTIC at 60.8 degrees. And again, the MalloMe came in with about a 4 to 5 degree difference over the other two tumblers at 65.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so for the final test, I decided to do a straight up 12-hour test to see which one of the tumblers kept liquid the hottest for 12 hours. And again, we started with about 150 degree water. To be exact, 152.2 for the RTIC, 151.6 for the YETI, and 152.3 for the MalloMe. And I started this test at 11:31 a.m. Okay, so 12 hours later, 12 hours and 4 minutes to be exact, I grabbed a flashlight and a thermometer to check the results. And the YETI came in at 81.7 degrees Fahrenheit, the RTIC at 81.5, and finally the MalloMe, again at about 5 degrees higher, at 85.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Chuck Norris once killed a man with a stern talking to. Okay, so that was the highly scientific performance testing portion of the video, and I got to say first of all that all three of these tumblers performed very, very well, and they all, I think, did a great job of keeping stuff hot or cold a whole lot longer than a regular tumbler or coffee cup would. But real quickly, just to kind of recap the results, I was really impressed that after 41.5 hours, the MalloMe was the only one that had any ice left in it. And it had just a little bit of ice, but it definitely had ice when the other two did not. And I think possibly the contributing factor to that was the lid. So maybe just closing up that very small opening made that very small difference, because they're essentially the same. They look exactly like the same cup, and they're probably got pretty much the same construction. But gotta say, unbiased, you saw it, ice is ice, and the MalloMe won that one in my opinion. It was straight up, it kept ice longer. It's right there in the same position. Everything was the same. So it won by a nose, but it won the cold test. And we went to the long-term hot, and just to recap that, we started at 150 degrees after 6 hours. The MalloMe was at 105, and the other two were around 100, 101. So again, I think because of the lid probably, but the MalloMe won that one by 5 degrees. Not a lot, but 5 degrees is 5 degrees, and it's a clear winner. So So anyway, I let that one run about 17 hours and checked the temperature, and it was down to 65 degrees on the MalloMe and around 60 on the other one. So again, 4 or 5 degrees difference on the MalloMe, but I think 65 degrees is about as cool as you want to get it, because that's getting where you call it tepid. So I think that was probably the extreme of the ability to maintain that temperature. And then on the 12-hour test, again, MalloMe won by about 5 degrees. We started at about 151, MalloMe went up about 85, and the others around 80, 81. So clear winner. Again, not a tremendous difference, not an overwhelming difference or anything like that, but definitely a difference. So I think enough to where we can say that the MalloMe won all 3 of those performance tests with the conditions just as equal and standardized as I can make them. So I think from performance, MalloMe is a winner by the nose. And again, based on the fact that the YETI is $40 and the RTIC is $15, and for that price, you get a cooler and 1 lid with no closure on top. And for under $20 anyway, 17 to 19 bucks, I think the price for some reason fluctuates a little bit on Amazon. You get the tumbler, 2 lids, both with separate closures on it, and the handle, and the stainless steel straw, and the brush. I think as far as value goes, the MalloMe is a clear winner by a considerable margin. So I did everything I could to be as unbiased as possible in testing and be as absolutely scientific as possible. And the folks at MalloMe were willing to step up, put their money where their mouth was, and put their reputation on the line. They definitely proved themselves to me. And I got to say, I have no hesitation in saying, if you're looking for one of these high-performance tumblers to keep stuff hot or cold for longer, I think the MalloMe is the best value I've seen and would be probably the best choice out of these 3 in my opinion. So once again, thanks to the folks at MalloMe for sending me all these so I could test them and show them to you, and for sponsoring this video, and for having enough confidence in their product to kind of put it on the line there. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing this video with all your friends. Thank you so very much for doing all your Amazon shopping through the Survival on Purpose links. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time. Anyway, in this video, we're going to do a scientific head-to-head. If it really stays on very securely, and it's not coming. If you put it on right, it stays on very securely. Yep, I did it again. No sound. Really sorry about the dogs, but they live here too, right? So they actually live next door, but they live there. So anyway.